This is the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. Rolex watches represent the epitome of luxurious timepieces, renowned for their enduring elegance, impeccable craftsmanship, and unwavering value. However, their widespread appeal often comes with steep price tags and extensive waiting periods at authorized retailers. But fret not, aficionados of fine watches. In today's video brought to you by the luxury world, we will unveil a strategic blueprint for attaining your coveted Rolex at a more affordable price. We will also examine 5 sought-after Rolex models, presenting savvy strategies to help you save money while upholding authenticity and prestige. From exploring pre-owned alternatives to navigating the uncharted waters of the gray market, this guide arms you with the expertise to bypass the waitlist and procure your desired Rolex at a cost that leaves both your wrist and your finances content. If you still need to subscribe to our channel, we recommend staying informed about our upcoming videos. The demand for Rolex watches remains exceedingly high, while the supply chain cannot just produce an extra million watches on command. If you have been a watch enthusiast, you're likely familiar with the notorious Rolex waiting list. There just are not enough new Rolex watches available in the primary market to meet the demand. Before we delve into alternative value options for the most sought-after models, it is important to acknowledge that for some individuals, it is worth saving up to purchase the exact watch they desire to avoid any potential regrets, even if it means a higher cost. With that in mind, let us define the scope of our value watch selections in this video. All the watches featured are modern and designed for daily wear without requiring the extra care often associated with vintage timepieces. They are relatively easy to find in the market with a bit of diligent searching for a well-maintained example, and all prices mentioned include the watch box and papers from reputable dealers. Rolex Explorer. Now, let's start with the first watch on our list. If you lean more towards exploring caves than diving underwater, you might be drawn to the Explorer 2. The most popular dial variant is undoubtedly the Polar White. The current reference 226570, released in 2021, typically fetches around £9,000 or more. However, if you are looking to save some money, you could opt for the previous generation model, which is nearly indistinguishable in appearance, much like the updates to the Submariner in 2020. The Explorer 2 underwent slight modifications to its case and bracelet, along with an upgraded movement featuring a longer power reserve. The new model features slimmer legs and a bracelet width starting at 22mm instead of 21mm, tapering down for a smoother transition compared to its predecessor. Despite its 42mm size, the watch sits relatively flat and low on the wrist, with a height of approximately 12.5mm, avoiding a bulky appearance. The most significant savings can be found among those considering the black dial model produced between 2011 and 2021, available from around £7,500, potentially saving £2,500 compared to purchasing a new white dial version. One notable difference is that the direct black dial reference is coated black at the center, creating a floating appearance, whereas the newer model features encoded hands with fully visible white gold. Rolex Submariner Date. These alternative choices can offer 90% or more of the satisfaction of owning the most coveted watches in the market. So, if you have longed for a stainless steel Rolex Submariner Date, drawn to its aesthetics, history, and prestige, but find yourself deterred by its price tag or the waitlist at authorized dealers, we want to offer a perspective. While there is no denying the allure of the Submariner, it is important to acknowledge that there is no exact substitute for the watch you truly desire. Consider, for instance, the Tudor Black Bay or the Omega Seamaster Diver 300M as potential alternatives to fulfill your dream of owning a dive watch. Both are exceptional timepieces that would undoubtedly bring you joy. However, it is crucial to recognize that they will never quite replicate the experience of owning a Rolex Submariner. In many cases, your initial desire for the Submariner may resurface over time. This phenomenon is not necessarily logical or rational. After all, if practicality were the sole consideration, we might all opt for a Casio and be done with it. But there is a unique allure and emotional attachment associated with certain watches that transcends mere functionality or value. Rolex Submariner Date Reference 126610LA. This current production model, introduced in 2020, typically commands a price of around £11,000, depending on factors like age and condition. However, to save approximately £2,000, you could consider opting for the previous generation Submariner, the 40mm reference 114060, which was in production from 2012 to 2020 and lacks the date function. We intentionally chose this model as it closely resembles the current version, with the main difference being the case shape, particularly the wider lugs compared to the newer reference. The bracelet on the 114060 starts at 20 mm and tapers down to 16 mm, whereas the newer model starts at 21 mm and tapers down to 17 mm. In reality, the difference in size between the current 41 mm model and the 40 mm one is negligible for most wearers, unless directly compared side by side. Rolex, much like Porsche with its 911, prefers to make incremental changes to its iconic designs. While the newer model boasts an upgraded movement with a longer power reserve of approximately 70 hours compared to the previous generation's 48 hours, this may not be a significant factor for most wearers in everyday use. So, does the 40 mm Submariner meet your criteria, or do you consider the minor enhancements worth the additional cost for the current model? Rolex Banded Daytona. For many watch enthusiasts, owning the iconic steel Banded Daytona from the modern collection is a dream. Released in 2023 with a reference 126500LN, this chronograph is notoriously difficult to obtain at a retail price due to high demand and low supply, commanding a market price of around £29,000. Notable updates include a ceramic bezel with a seal surround and a sleeker design for the subdials and batons on the dial. The case shape was also refined, featuring symmetrical lugs with flatter ends and more pointed crown guards, paying homage to vintage references while embracing Rolex's latest technology. However, for those looking to save around £1,500 while still experiencing the Daytona thrill, the 116520 model, produced between 2000 and 2016, offers a compelling alternative. With the same 40 mm size and oyster bracelet, its polished steel bezel and silver subdials distinguish it. Equipped with Rolex's in-house caliber 4130 movement, known for its reliability, this model is available with a white dial from around £17,500 and even less for the black dial variant. Rolex GMT Master 2. The GMT Master 2, particularly the Pepsi variant, holds a strong allure for those seeking a pilot watch from Rolex. However, like the Banded Daytona, it's challenging to obtain. The 40 mm GMT on a Jubilee band, reminiscent of the iconic 5-link bracelet of the Datejust, is highly coveted. Currently, you would need to invest approximately £17,000 to acquire a Pepsi model in the market. To pay less for 5 popular Rolex models, consider the following strategies. For the Submariner, buying pre-owned from reputable dealers and considering older versions can provide significant savings. Additionally, monitoring market trends can help you find a good deal. When it comes to the Daytona, exploring less popular color combinations and checking for lightly used models can reduce costs. Networking with collectors for private sales can also offer better prices. For the GMT Master 2, looking beyond the highly sought-after Pepsi bezel and opting for other versions can be more affordable. Building a relationship with an authorized dealer may lead to discounts or priority offers, and considering two-tone models can also help you save money. Avoiding customization and shopping around major holidays when retailers might have promotions can further reduce costs. Finally, for the Explorer, opting for the Explorer 2 instead of the Explorer 1 can be more budget-friendly. Buying from reputable gray market dealers and waiting for new releases can also lead to price drops on older versions. By employing these strategies, you can potentially secure a sought-after Rolex model at a more reasonable price. What are your impressions of the Rolex watches we shared in this video? If you enjoyed the video, we would appreciate it if you let us know by leaving a comment and giving it a thumbs up. Do not forget to follow our channel for more content. Thank you for watching The Luxury World, and we look forward to having you join us in our upcoming videos.